Hello, hello. Today I bring you Goreshade 4 and Legions of Dawn going up against Ossrum. And Ossrum's got a couple of gun bunnies and 2 drillers, a couple of bashers, and some Forgeguard. I'll put more exact lists in the description. And what we're looking at right here is he went first, he got a little ways up, and that's my deployment. So let's do this. So there's 3 problems, or there's probably more problems, but there's 3 problems that are noticeable and easily fixable that I just shouldn't have done. Yeah, let's get into this. Goreshade 4 is a medium base. Eiryss can be sniped and given Puppet Master. Goreshade 4 is not going to get to use any of his spells this game because he's about ready to get disrupted by Eiryss. The other problem is I didn't push my army far enough up. Ossrum, with his feet turn and Energizer, can get his models really far up, and they're really hard to kill. And if I don't have the spells to drop their armor on, I mean, it would only help on one model in this case. It's going to be really bad for me because I'm not going to be able to unjam myself. The other thing is he has Anastasia. So I've got a Chimera and a Ghost Sniper over there in that trench. They're probably okay just because they're in a trench. But this Lys Healer over here that's doing no knockdown for the Dauntless Resolved Destors, the Lys Healer is just going to die from Anastasia, and that is a very good trade. So there is one thing cool I did here, and my opponent was very nice and humble and awesome and cool, and he pointed out my one thing cool that I did here. That he kind of abused me for the 3 really uncool things I did. But the cool thing is I put a cloud right here next to this house, blocking line of sight for that basher, because with Energizer, it can't go to the left because there's that flag there. There's no landing spot for it. So that was the cool thing that I did there. Everything else is just really, really, really bad. So let's fast forward and show how bad this is. Stuff's in my face. I lost some stuff. Destors got slammed, and some Sentinels died. Some Invictors died. Goreshade got hit with the Disruptor Bolt. It's Ossrum's feet turn. So it's going to be my turn. I have to not lose on scenario, but I don't know how. I don't even know where to begin. I've got 3 armor, 22 warjacks in my face that I just have no way of dealing with or killing. So there's that. Yep, I don't kill any of them. I just jank them up pretty good. And then it's his turn, and he does the thing that he's supposed to do. And he kills everything, clears the zones, goes to 5 points, and wins. This is a problem in my playstyle. I've always played Retless, where if I get touched, I die. Flat out, nothing lives. And so because of that, I've never put anything in threat range. And in a couple of the games that I've played, you guys maybe have noticed that if I get jammed out of scenario, like if I don't go first and I get jammed out of scenario, the game just ends because I just don't have the tools to kill things that go into my face on armor feat turns like Maylock. Maylock was a great example. Exact same thing happened. And it's hard for me to realize that I have to give up half my army because if I just put a little bit, if in this case, if I just put some models up there, like a couple of Destors, a couple of Sentinels, a couple of Invictors, he just would have shot them all to death and then done the exact same thing, and I would have less models and still be jammed out. So in order for me to not automatically lose this game, I would have had to have commit half my army to just die on his feat turn, and he would have had the feat turn he wanted, which is a really bad matchup for Goreshade 4. And I kind of like Goreshade 4. I mean, I don't like playing him. He's not my play style at all. But I like the tools and what he does for Ret. To stop him from doing what he did, instead of putting out Dauntless Resolve, I could experiment with Cloud Walls. Get some clouds in good position, skew aside, try and grab some board space in a way that doesn't end up dying for me. However, that's really hard because, well, before I move on to Ossrum and the cool things he can do, I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about Goreshade 4, why he's a threat, why he's good for Ret, and why he's really different. He has a stationary feat, which really helps us in a lot of melee situations. It's a good stationary feat that removed from play doesn't get around. But it doesn't help for gun lines. So against gun lines, he has Cloud Wall that he can put out. However, Dauntless Resolve is a very important upkeep for Destors because it makes them freaking amazing, and he wants to get that out turn 1. And that severely limits what he can do with clouds. Actually, you could have put out 2 clouds. No, because I did Ghost Walk. That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done Ghost Walk. I should have just deployed differently. First time putting this army on the table, so I didn't really know what I was doing, and it definitely showed going up against Ossrum. But he has those types of tools. He has the cloud walls. He has the armor fixers. He has the defensive feat. He has all these things that I never thought we would see in Ret. And now that it's here, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's good, it's strong, but I feel like it just makes us what every other faction has. Every other faction has a version of Goreshade 4 in some form or another. And that's the type of game that everyone that doesn't play Ret is used to playing against. So when I pick up Ret when I pick up Goreshade 4 and I'm excited to play him, everyone looks at him like, oh, this is just like how every other game of Warmachine goes for me. It's new to you, but it's not new to me. And it puts me at a disadvantage. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole of learning the Goreshade 4 playstyle. Instead, I'm going to refocus on the things that I am good at the assassinations, at the jank, at the little positioning games that I can play with Ret. So that's where I'm going with that. Now, let's talk about Ossrum, because Ossrum is awesome. And I've played a lot of games against Ossrum. He's a multi-dimensional caster. He has ways of just bulldozing you out of zones and winning on scenario with all his little gun bunnies. It is completely a thing. He's got a feat turn that's Pathfinder speed and armor, and it's +3 of those. It's really good. He gets things really far up the board. He has Energizer, so another +2-inch movement. His stuff threats really far. The gun bunnies just synergize great with him. Fire for Effect is amazing on either Eiryss or in this case, the Mortar Crew, because the Mortar Crew is great for an AoE 4 Fire for Effect. Eiryss is amazing with Snipe. That's just instantly a threat to most Warmachine casters if you don't have ways of denying that. My plan was to not get happen again was to have the Dester and Imperitus block line of sight to Goreshade. However, he could just send the Basher, if he could get rid of this Dester, send the Basher to slam the Dester into Imperitus, and now they're knocked down and Eiryss can shoot him again. So it would just happen all over again because he's a somewhat decent player. He would probably have just energized and taken the free strike, but he would have had to have gotten Ossrum into range to do that. Anyhow, I digress. Ossrum has lots of different abilities and playstyles. His gun bunnies with the fully boosted sprays, fantastic. They threat really far. They're hard to avoid. Sprays get around so many problems. He's got Eiryss to threaten casters. He's got AoEs. He's got Anastasia for ambush. And he's just got drillers and bashers. And bashers are so janky. They are so janky. They go really far up the board on a slam, which they do for free. The model they slam goes +2 inches farther forward, which means they follow up. To follow them those +2 inches forward, sometimes what will happen is, and this has happened before, a basher will slam a model, and that model will go over the top of other models, and the basher will follow it up right into the model it wants to be, and it'll stop at, say, the caster. Like, it can slam Imperitus over Goreshade, and then follow up and stop at Goreshade, because Imperitus will just keep going right over the top of Goreshade since he's a larger base. And then it does the auto-hitting POW 12 flak field, and then it can just buy attacks, and it's slammed for free. There's a lot of really good things in there. The flak field is fantastic. It's hard to remove on feat turn. If anything, he can just throw it away and put it into your face, get some work done with it, like how he did here, and just have 2 bashers that are hard for me to remove. His Forgeguard, not all Ossrum lists have Forgeguard. I actually like the addition of them. After the jam, after the drillers, after the bunnies are removed, the Forgeguard are coming in and hammering things all over the place. And by then, there's usually not much of an army left. They're kind of that final push for attrition. They're also something that you kind of feel threatened by and have to deal with. Even though they're slow, they're hard to deliver. They hit like Mack trucks. But the dilemma is more gun bunnies, which are super stinking cheap, or a unit of Forgeguard. Usually most Ossrum players bring the gun bunnies. I think it can go either way. You just got to play them to your style. The drillers are also great for armor cracking and just being hard to deal with. Brings a lot of solos. Eilish is great for keeping Ossrum alive, removing upkeeps. Upkeeps are a really big deal in this game lately. There's a lot of just baller upkeeps out there. Eilish and the Eiryss combo is fantastic. Gorman and Ragman are in here also to debuff, score flags, cause problems, do janky things. But yeah. Oh, I was very impressed this game with Destors. There's still 4 of them alive. That's surprising as hell to me. I've never had anything that can take a whole side like that and not just die. With Dauntless Resolve and Unyielding, their armor 22, and that's pretty cool. I really liked it. And if the Lys Healer was still alive, maybe tough no knockdown. Woo! I really like it. I like where Destors are going. I like how hard they hit. I like how their guns. I like the opportunities they bring to the table. But yeah. I hope this video offends you of how poorly I played Goreshade 4. It does not accurately represent the caster, but I'm hoping that I got the points across of what he can do with Sentinels. Every time you kill a Sentinel, you get stationary, he gets a soul, and then he has the feat turn he wants where he delivers all his top tier spells. Because he has an amazing spell list, he just can't afford to do them all. And please take this game with a grain of salt and look at Goreshade as something that exists in other factions. But Rhett has really good stuff, and it's worth taking seriously. Also, please take Ossrum seriously. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, crushed, defeated. Yes, crushed and defeated. Anyhow, thank you for watching.